Watch this.
Welcome to another episode of It's So Hard Being Light Skinned.
So hard.
I am one of your hosts, Morgan Fikes, and I've got with me
Jonathan Kirkland.
Uncle Jonathan, everybody's favorite uncle. Although, how do you feel like if someone walks up to you on the street before this show? I feel like now we've kind of invited them to, but if someone walked up to you on the street and just called you uncle, like how would you feel?
It depends because that could be a sexy thing. They might be flirting. Or, but no, I've seen some on Instagram because it's like different stats. You got the what YN, your unks, your OG. So I think unk is a good place to be for me right now. And that
Okay.
where I'm at age wise and where I look wise, I think I'm okay with being an unk.
Okay, and that's true. Tone does matter.
Hmm.
So today's episode is It's So Hard Being American because that's just the vibe right now, y'all.
Yeah, now when you told me that, I was like, we're supposed to be lighthearted and, it's like this seems heavy, heavy. So, Morgan had to do some convincing to make me realize, okay, we can still have some fun with this because it is hard being American. It's a soft life struggle, and right now it's a hard life struggle.
Well, true. I mean, a lot of
Um,
the times we lean more into like the first world problem of it, where it's like it's a problem, but like nobody's gonna die. But like talking about being hard, being American, like people are dying. So like it is definitely a bit heavier, but it's also just like real and present and all the things that are happening. So yeah, I don't, and actually part of what made me want to have this particular conversation
hmm
was after you left, we went on Sunday. So Union Chapel in Martha's Vineyard does, I don't think it's open in the winter.
hmm
And like during peak summer season, they will host all different like leaders and pastors from like all around the country. So they get some really cool speakers. And I forgot. Well, I don't know. DC, like, I especially know who all the black representatives are, but I had forgotten that Ayanna Presley is Massachusetts.
Now, who's
So
Diana Presley?
she is a congresswoman. You know who she is. You've seen her.
No.
She's the one who wears her hair bald because she has alopecia. But I believe she's, look, don't get me lying because I was about to say, I think it's congresswoman, not senator. She's the honorable Ayanna Presley. Um, but look, I'm like, but let me fact check myself.
Yeah, I don't think I heard that
She's a
neither.
U.S. representative.
Okay.
Yes,
So
she's
was
a.
she at the place or something or what?
So she spoke at Union Chapel.
Um,
And what was really interesting was not only did she give a really great talk, they're gonna talk about you that you didn't know Ayanna Presley by name, by the way, but we're gonna come back to that. But not only did she give a great talk, but whoever did the music also made really interesting music selections that were like I forgot America.
the
Was it
beautiful.
America the Beautiful? I think it was America the Beautiful. I'm trying to find it now. Was actually a hymn. And so it was just very interesting. And it really got me thinking about, who gets to hold this space, who gets to, be American.
Well,
Uh,
remember it's about songs like what was it, Star Spangled Banner? Isn't it a verse in there about is it slavery or something that nobody sings that verse?
mm-hmm.
I forgot what it was about, something controversial. But everything with America is controversial, which is so interesting that with the whole it's not even recent, but it's just more blatant in the face, like the whole erasure of history.
Mm-hmm.
Is erasure a word?
Yes,
Okay.
erasure.
It didn't
Yes.
sound right coming out. Yes, but like it's just interesting. So it's like what story do we want to tell of America? But then also like who is the we? Like who's telling the story? Because if it's we the people, I think being American is different. I know being American is different to everybody who's in America. You know, like my experience is different from your experience. We both might be black, but you're a black woman, I'm a black man. So like inherently our experiences will be different. So I think like I guess my question to you and also like to the listeners, like, what is American? Like what is American? Like is
Well,
it
I
at the
think
time?
one of the things that's interesting about that is it shouldn't America the Beautiful. It was America the Beautiful. That's a hymn.
Hmm.
Um, it's one of those things that shouldn't depend on who you ask, but it does.
Yeah.
And it's let me back up. We were out there for 4th of July.
Hmm.
And so it's a very interesting feeling. I think 4th of July is one of the few times, especially lately, that I don't feel uncomfortable when I see people like overly flagged out. You know what I mean? Like any other time of year, especially now, if I see people head to toe in American flag or flag paraphernalia,
Like so, for those
like
who can't
so,
see.
it's usually not um I don't want to say like positive, but there's usually unfortunately certain things that you can safely assume.
Right, because like people have weaponized the flag. Like in recent
People
years,
have
I think we've been.
weaponized the flag. People have turned the flag in many ways into this very negative, very far right,
Mhm.
um, America first versus like
America.
America.
Right.
And so yeah, I think it is really unfortunate that like, if it's not 4th of July or Cowboy Carter, I'm like,
Hmm.
the flag.
It's like Cowboy Carter was one of those experiences where you saw all people, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, like everybody was embracing the flag.
Hmm.
But it's interesting because it wasn't like I'm proud to be an American. It's like I'm proud to be here with Beyonce. But it's like one of those things where it's like,
It was almost this moment of time of like Beyonce makes me proud to be an American.
yeah, something like that. It's like something like whatever you can find the peace in it, find
Hmm.
that peace, and like that's your America, you know? Like,
Right.
and that's hard in
It
being
is
itself
really
because
unfortunate, like
yeah,
that this symbol of our country that is supposed to, represent freedom.
because I guarantee you, like this flag, like if I was still in my Cowboy Carter excitement and I put this on the back of my car and rode around Northeast, Southeast DC, I wouldn't have tires, I wouldn't have windows, I might not have a life.
They be looking at
So
you when you got out the car like,
right.
mm.
I'm like, I'm just on my Cowboy Carter high, but nah, people don't want to hear that. So it's just interesting. And like America as a whole, as we know, like it also depends on like where you're at in the country, like Northeast versus Southeast versus West, Midwest, anything. So it's like, I guess we're supposed to be like what a melting pot, but it feels more like a salad bowl, if that. And in recent times, it's like it's a salad bowl, but then now we just realize that okay, America is gluten free, so we got to take the croutons out and put them somewhere else. So that's how I feel
You
it.
gotta take the crouton. You can't put the croutons back. They
Lady
have to.
Liberty is gluten free, you know?
Those are your croutons now. You
Mm.
gonna have to figure out how to coexist with them croutons. Maybe you don't eat them, but you can't just pass them to your neighbor and tell them to lock them up for later.
Right. But these are the times we live in.
But do you feel like you're repping a country that like doesn't always have your back or wouldn't? I mean, it's so interesting because we're basically talking about America like in a way as an entity, but it's an entity that is made up of pieces and people and like
Hmm.
it's it's very it I really hate and it feels so disconnected to be an American and also like there shouldn't be an us them, but there very much in this moment is an
Hmm.
us them. And it's a hard to discuss and navigate.
Yeah, and like I think like being an American is always evolving, but like I feel especially now, like the evolution is also a regression at the same time. So if you think back before either one of us was alive, it's like I'm an American, I'm going to serve my country, I'm going to go to war for some people, you know? So that
Mhm.
was being American. The American was I'm going to get married, have the two kids, dog, white picket fence. That's American. The American dream. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to have money for my family. I'm going to be entrepreneur, capitalism. So all that combination of everything and then where we are now as a country from a political standpoint and the environment that we're in right now is like, what is that American dream? What makes somebody American? Like, what is the American and the America that we're looking for? You know, like, what does that look like anymore?
Yeah, it's yeah, the part of the issue to your point is that we sort of no longer have this unified definition. Like there was a time in the past when I wouldn't have necessarily felt like, I don't know, let's just say certain people of other parties, I wouldn't have felt like, oh, they're not American.
Right.
Or like, oh, they're, and it's just like, or, and I wouldn't have necessarily felt like, well, no, there are certain people that have never saw me as an American to a certain extent. But like, yeah, I don't know. We just used to like each other more. Like even if I didn't agree with you, I mean, it wasn't like and I want you to die over it.
Right.
Like I want to bring up W.E.B. Du Bois
Mm-hmm.
and like that whole double consciousness
Mm-hmm.
and like seeing yourself through your own eyes, but also through the eyes of a country that like stereotypes you. And I think that's a lot of what we're like describing right now is that split of like I know I'm an American and like
Mm-hmm.
there's like this is where I was born and raised, like my culture built this thing, my ancestors built this thing, like y'all we want to talk about the Mayflower, but you know, I can tell you about my great great grand aunt Charlotta who ran a black owned newspaper in California called the California Eagle and like has a day for her in LA honoring her in February. And USC has an amazing lab. Shout out Dr. Richardson. That, you know, is there to protect and preserve black journalism. So like I got roots in this thing. Like I have history here. Like I'm, you know, not claiming to be indigenous, but you know, I didn't come here yesterday. And so it's like
It's
when you talk to people and they're like questioning my Americanness, I'm like, it's there. I'm not about to pull up my birth certificate for you, but like,
now,
it's
do
deep.
you think that you are a part of the fortunate few that can go back that far and have those roots, especially when thinking about the black community? Because a lot of people, especially like those in the South,
For
like in my
sure.
family on my side, I think because I'm fifth generation, and then that's where it stops. But also like that has other things to do with like names and families and things like that. But like that type of thing. So like saying that to say like, do you think some people within certain communities, in this case, black African American communities, that can't trace back maybe three generations, two generations, that they might feel not less American, but that they have less roots here in this country, less
Yeah,
ties
I
to
mean,
the country?
yes, I can absolutely. And it, you know, honestly, it's not even just that. Like, I know that what I'm talking about is absolutely from a place of privilege that, like, actually, I'll give you a perfect example. I even though I've lived other places, my mom didn't sell my childhood home until like I think it was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But even though I was other places, you know, there were times where like there were boxes, you know, of each of ours just in the basement. Um, and I remember having a conversation with an ex-boyfriend I think growing up, he had moved like 8 times.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I never really thought about the privilege of being in one home
Mm-hmm.
and having and still being welcome in that home
Yeah.
into adulthood and having like he didn't have I think one of the houses had a fire.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't have any baby pictures. A lot of the family photos had gotten lost. And like I grew up with my great grandfather at the top of the stairs.
Mm.
There's like I I
It's like an
remember
oil painting, like one of those big oil paintings like you see in those
it wasn't a big
Europe
oil painting. It wasn't quite like that family
standing up
portrait.
like this. Like
Although we did have like a gold framed
mm-hmm.
family portrait
I knew it. I knew
from
it
a
somewhere.
church that had been it was a print, but I think that remember how you could get prints in like a paint
Yeah,
style kind of thing? It was like
yeah.
one of those. We definitely, but like my mom, we had a whole gallery wall of family and roots. So but yes, I am aware enough to know the privilege that exists in being able to say that. And I don't say that to say that anyone whose roots are shorter is less American than I am.
Right, right.
I think at the end of the day, the only people that can say STFU to all of us are the Native Americans. Like they're like, I'm sorry, the immigrants said what? Like
So since we're speaking about them random sidebar, but this goes back to Americans. So what do you think about the whole thing, since we're both here in DC, about Trump threatening to not build a stadium at RFK if they don't go back to the Redskins from the command?
first of all, ain't nobody paying him no mind. Epstein. Every time he talks, I'm just like Epstein. Just
Distraction,
Epstein,
distraction, diversion,
Epstein,
diversion.
Epstein.
Yeah.
Like he's literally it feels like um it's the air of desperation of a cornered animal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Where he is snapping and snarling and pointing
What
every
animal is it that when they get scared they like fall over and die or like play dead or something?
possums.
Possum. Let's play
Yeah, possums I believe play dead.
possum.
Raccoons don't. It's definitely possums.
Okay.
And you want to know what's funny? I was just rewatching Bones because I'm a nerd. And there was and literally like 3 episodes ago there was a possum who fell over dead. And Bones was like, "You killed him." No, I'm sorry. Luke was like, "You killed him." And Bones picked him up and was like, "That's what possums do." But I was like, when you asked, I was like, "Wait, I know this trivia." Oh, but yeah, I don't. When do you feel the most American? Like, is it 4th of July? Is it Juneteenth? Is it never? Is it Beyonce concert?
Beyonce concert. Honestly, no, I feel the most American. I don't even know how to answer that question. Like, because
Actually,
I
you
know.
tell me yours and then I'll tell me mine, which will transition to the next thing because it aligns.
I feel the most American when I'm out of America.
Oh, not you reading my mind. I was about to say when I travel. Yes, continue.
When I'm out of America for many reasons, like both like one, like just being in a different country where you don't have to think about like money as much and like, everything here is about appearance and status and class and everything like that. You can just be free, be of the world, be of your environment, be
Leave
of
the world,
the
baby.
community, if you will, and have to think about all the bullshit that we have to think about in America. And then on the flip side, I felt the most American and was like, well, I kind of want this instead of that. Like, like this is what you're,
When your Americanism comes out and you're like,
yeah.
"Excuse me, the customer service in me
You're
says I'm
like,
supposed to get this like right now," and they're
like,
like,
what's
"Maybe."
your health grade on this restaurant? Like, so yeah, so it's like a twofold. Like I'm like that American asshole tourist sometimes, but I try to be more of like the I'm out of America, and that's when you really understand like all the pressure and everything else that this country puts on us as Americans. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's when it's like in my face is when I'm not here.
Yeah. No, I was definitely gonna say when I travel as well, because whenever I'm out of the country, is like those moments where either the pressure is off and something is like very different, and you're like, oh my God, this is so
Hmm.
like, oh God, what country is it? I remember learning the other day. I haven't been there yet, and I really want to go. I think it's Sweden. Um, but they leave their babies outside to nap, like outside the restaurant.
Oh,
It's like, and it's just, but look at your face. You're like, what? Because in America, them babies be gone. They be
they would
kidnapped.
be, and they'd be sold into something.
Okay, but no, they like go to meals, go do things. They will leave their babies bundled, sleep outside, and it's just like the norm. You'll just like walk down the street,
Mhm.
and there's like a bunch of prams lined up, and I'm like, how lovely is that? That you have a safe enough country that you can just leave your child asleep
Outside. Yeah.
outside,
There's some.
and everybody's just like, cool.
Mhm. And it's even
Could
like
you
that.
imagine if somebody left their stroller outside in like New York and walked into a restaurant?
Oh,
We
you'd
all
be going to jail. You would be in jail. Let's start there. You would be in jail for
they'd be
child
like child abandonment.
and
Like,
abuse and neglect, all that.
did you ever watch that? Sorry, sidebar. Did you ever watch that Netflix show? Oh, I forget the name of it, but it was this show where they would like send kids to like do stuff.
Yes, it was in like China or something or Asia.
Yeah, it was either China or
Yeah,
Japan, I want to say.
like to
But
buy
they
groceries and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
they would
yeah,
send these little like in our minds, little kids. I want to say they were like 4 or 5. So I mean, they could walk and talk, but they would like send them to like the corner store or the grocery store, like off to do tasks. And like you're looking like, oh my, like clutching the
yeah.
pearls. But then you think about when we were latchkey kids, and you're like, we weren't necessarily that young doing it.
Uh-uh.
Like I do feel like I don't know why I feel like I'm yelling. I do feel like we have lost a little bit of instilling that independence in children.
That's because the world has changed. The world has changed. Like I remember going to the corner store and getting my mom's lotto tickets, and I was clearly like, well, I was older than four, like 10 or 12, 10 or 11, like getting lotto
Yeah.
tickets. And you make, and cigarettes too. And they would give it to us because it was like, but now can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, but that you know, sir, not your example being giving children gambling and smoking. Okay, that's
Back
probably
up.
a positive change. That would be like you arguing about how we wear seatbelts and sit in baby seats now. Yeah, we needed that. But we didn't need all of the like I've seen like news stories in the last few months around like parents getting in trouble because their kids were home alone at like 11 or something. And I'm like, at 11, that's like, you know what to do and not do. What's the problem? You
Well,
know
that's
what
here in DC, the curfew that they have now with the what is the juvenile curfew?
I mean? That thing.
Yeah. So
But anyway, sorry, I went off sidetrack. The reason that the travel thing was a perfect segue was because we're gonna remix our light skin of the day, or am I the light skin segment, and talk about am I the American? So when was the time when you were traveling when you or someone with you did something that had you questioning, am I the American? For me, sometimes it's like tipping in other countries. I'm like, do I leave money? Do I not leave money? Is this rude? Is this like
hmm.
because that's like such a big American culture thing that is just like not in a lot of other places.
Oh, for me, it would be space. And I remember this when I was in Tokyo, when I was in Japan, like personal space. And this was pre-COVID, before we had the 6 feet thing. But like in other countries, like people sometimes they're just like, okay, what bumping shoulders is completely fine. And I'm more like, don't touch me type person. And I don't know if that was my Americanism or whatever, or just my, protecting my peace.
You
But
didn't like you were like y'all too close to me.
yeah, I think that's one. And then also another one
I
too.
realized a little bit in the pandemic. I was like, I should not be enjoying 6 feet this much.
I still enjoy
Like when it stopped, I was like, why did it stop?
I still enjoy it.
Oh
And
yeah,
another one
no,
too is
it's
like,
so
because I'm a bit of a rule breaker, so they don't play that in some of these other countries. So that's one thing that like my friends on vacation would have to like check me and be like, chill, because we're not bailing you out of jail or you'll just be stuck here. So like I like to like know the rule. If I don't like it, go to the line, maybe go over it. But like that's very
Then
American
don't
of
break
me.
it.
Yeah, because like here I feel like you could like, depending on what it is, talk your
I'm
way out.
not going to jail in foreign countries. That's what I'm not trying to do.
That almost happened to me in Colombia.
See,
Very
we
interesting.
would have never heard from you again. You would have
Shit,
been
twice, because the cops put up on me on the corner on these motorcycles. I didn't know what they were saying. So then I ended up, the Uber came. No, it was a taxi that I got into because I didn't have money. So when the taxi got close to where we were staying, I hopped out the taxi while I was still moving and just started running to the place. So that was a 2-for-1 special that night. But that was
there. First of all,
in all places Colombia.
first of all, tell
Hmm.
me you didn't grow up with lawyer parents without telling me you didn't grow up with lawyer parents.
Did not. I was just
No, I'm talking about you confessing shit on tape.
oh that's that was a long time ago.
The statute of limitations has run
Yeah.
out.
And it was a
Uh-huh.
different country. It's a whole different country.
Yeah, okay. Until somebody in Colombia sees this and you can never go back.
If it's the people that I saw, they can't speak English, so they'll be good.
You- Cut that. Cut that. I'm trying to think of what was like the most American. I will on occasion. No, I will say I know what the most American where I was like, oh, it might be us. My friend's birthday, we took a trip to Turkey, and one of the days we did like a boat outing, and so we're like all on this really cute boat. The only thing I will say, it was one of the first times in a long time that I went on a boat where I was like, oh, it's cold. Like we were on the boat like in sweatshirts basically, and I was like, this
Hmm.
is cute, but this would be like so much more fun if we were like, if I could get my bikini out. But anyway, we're on this boat and we pulled up to like one of these little islands
Hmm.
and like did a hop off and like went and ate and walked around and it's all, sometimes you forget until you're like, it's a whole group of black people and
Hmm.
we're, I think there are black people in Turkey, but like not a lot. We did not really see. It was definitely one of those like, oh look, a black person. Um, and so I think all of us together, and we were all like dressed up because it was like my friend's birthday, and she had like a whole theme, and it was cute.
Hmm.
Um, and then we're in Turkey. So as we were like getting after we finished eating, like as we're getting back on the boat, and we're like playing music and just being ourselves, I look up and these people are like recording us.
Mm.
And I'm like,
Obnoxious Americans.
am I the well? And it was one of those. I was like, "Are you recording us because this is cool, or are you recording us because like you about to post later? Like, look at these dumb dumbs, you know?" I was like, "I'm gonna pretend you're recording us because we're cool. Thank you." But yeah, I was definitely questioning. Like, is it me? Am I the
And
American?
absolutely, you were the American in that moment.
We were the Americans, and we were
Even worse.
okay, and we black.
Gang, gang,
Oh, we was loud and laughing.
gang, gang. All right.
Well, to close this out, I'm gonna just quote our favorite artist, Beyonce. America's got a problem.
Is that it?
That's it. We done. We did it. This one was a little longer, but
I feel like I'm more to
yeah,
say about America.
we sick of America. America is getting on our nerves.
But I'm
So,
not African American anymore. I'm black. I am.
blue, like my mic. No, we're black.
This was fun.
All
I'm
right.
actually hot, and I'm taking this off. It's gonna got me hot
Okay, well you can end the recording because we did it.
again.